Good morning and happy Friday. Today I'm excited because I'm going to talk to my friend Michelle Estrada. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote a blog about my second flood that I've had in a year, and Michelle sent me I'm going to bring her on right now while I am chatting with her. She sent me an email and basically was saying that she has some morning. Good morning, Michelle. Hey, I like your
For you.
hat.
Good for
Hey,
you.
journals, yay! um, so she was sharing with me some things that she does in the mornings that really helps her get her day going and maybe go through some difficult times, right, and make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to let you tell us, first of all, what you do, because it's completely fascinating and I don't do it justice. And second of all, we'll talk a little bit about our morning routine and how that helps us through our day and our week.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on today. I
Yeah.
always love watching you guys, you with your little morning hat talk.
Thanks.
So what I do, my personal business here, I have a business here in the Brandon area too, and I build websites, but not only do I build them, I'm an SEO, which is search engine optimization expert. So what that means is I'm able to get your website or your business ranked on the maps or in the top of Google search, whichever, they both kind of go hand in hand. But when people are searching for your business, I'm able to help Google understand who you are so that you get found when people are searching for your business in your location. So one of the things that I do, there's this book, which I have here. Let me show you. It's kind of big. Tools of Titan.
We like big books.
Like books.
What is it
Huge.
called?
It's Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
And he wrote the 4-Day Work Week, right?
Yeah, 4-hour work week for our body,
4 hours.
Whatever. Yeah, he has a lot of books. But
yeah.
There's a little portion of this book. It's one of these books that you can pull out little nuggets. It's not like you have to sit and read the whole thing front to back. But I got something out of this book. He said that 80% of the people that he interviewed in this book, and it's people, it says the tactics, routines, and habits of billionaires, icons, and world-class performers. So
nice.
He's interviewed all these people on his podcast, and then he wrote a book about all that. And 80% of these people have a morning routine. I like to call it a ritual. So
okay.
I took some of what he put in there as what people do in the morning, and I adopted it for myself. And I try to do it most of the time. I'm not going to lie and say that I do it every single day like clockwork. I'm getting there. It's a process.
Right. Right.
But so they say that what he said in the book is that if the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is make your bed, then you have set the stage for the entire next 12 hours of your day to be successful because you've already checked off the first task of the day.
Right.
So I hop up out of bed and make it first thing. And every time I walk past it and I look at it, it looks good. And I'm like, yes, thank God I made my bed. If anyone walks
right.
and they have
it's the one
room,
thing. Yes, I did it.
yeah. And then, so the second thing, and I actually wrote a blog about this on my blog, if you guys want to take a look at it, but it details the whole thing out. But the second thing is spend 10 minutes meditating about one thing that, like, pick a word that you want to focus on that day. Like if the word is focus, maybe maybe you have a hard time staying on track. Like I typically am very easily distracted. I like being easily distracted, so that's something I've been working on. So focus. So if I take 10 minutes in the morning to focus my mind and get my thoughts together and kind of organize my brain, so to speak, before I get going with my day, then I seem to stay on task a lot better than if I don't do that and I'm like, oh, let me do this, or oh, let me just spend 5 minutes doing this, and it ends up taking me an hour. It's easier to decide if I'm going to say no to something or if I can say yes to something during the day if I do that in the morning. And
I'm gonna share one thing too. Is Insight Timer is a free app, and they have all kinds of meditations on that app. So, and it's even just has music or background noise or whatever, and it's completely free. So that might be something that's really helpful too, because it gives you a certain time and it gives you sort of that background noise, you know?
Yeah, well, so I had never meditated before, and I'm a Christian, so I use that time to pray as well. I don't
Yeah,
and
me
like
too.
think random thoughts, but like I actually pray and I journal
Yeah.
during that time too. So, um, and I sit in a nice comfortable chair in my room. It's nice and quiet. I don't have distractions. Nothing's gonna be. It's during a time when no one's gonna come in and bother me or ask me questions or whatever.
Right.
Because you kind of your brain to get distracted during that time. Um, so I keep I have a notebook with a pen next to my bed, and I just keep it there, and I grab it every morning. And right after I do my 10 minutes, and I use an app called Headspace, but I
Okay.
found that that one's not free. It has a free like 10 days. Um,
Okay.
so it depends on if you want to pay the monthly thing. But
Yeah. So Insight
I,
Timer's free. Headspace.
sorry, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I know you got to run,
No, no,
right?
you're
Pretty
fine.
quickly.
She was just saying goodbye because she's heading out to high school.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway, so the next thing after you spend 10 to 20 minutes meditating, and they say if you can build up to an hour, I, that's okay though. It's okay. You don't
Right.
have, even if you spend 10 minutes, it's better than nothing, honestly. Um,
Right. Even if you spend 5 minutes, whatever time that you spend, to me, and I've read this before, is the equivalent of all the time that you need, right? Just to get in that mindset of being alone, being with God, being, you know, quiet,
yeah,
basically.
and so like I always got a little bit weirded out. I thought meditation was like kind of new agey or whatever, and so I kind of didn't want to do it. But then when I tried it just to see what it was, it's not like you're doing something weird. You're having
Right.
like a quiet,
Being
you're quieting your brain is what you're doing,
That's
making your
right.
brain like, it's kind of like when you go for like a facial or a massage, or like I don't know, even if you just soak in the bathtub after a long day, you just quiet your brain, and you're
Right.
doing it on purpose. Because a
Yep.
lot of times I find myself to quiet my brain, if I'm in the middle of doing something that I don't really want to do, I don't know why, but I want to hop on Facebook, and that quiets my,
Yep.
that's not quieting your brain. It's just
Right.
filter, it's like putting more garbage in your brain that makes you more distracted. So
That's right.
I've been really limiting my urge to do that lately. I've been finding
Good.
myself going the whole day without going on Facebook sometimes.
Oh, good. Except for today, because
Yeah, yeah.
we're live.
I'm trying to limit that though, and there is a new thing on my most recent update on my iPhone that tells me my screen time. Oh my,
Ooh, that's helpful.
it's scary. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So the next,
so what do you do after your meditation? What's the next step or your morning
yeah,
ritual?
and so I intentionally call it a morning ritual, not a morning routine. But the
Right.
ritual is more of a thing that it's not just like a random thing that you do because you fall into it. It's something you intentionally do. So that's why
Right.
a ritual. The next thing is 5 to 10 reps of something. Just stand by your bed and do
Okay.
like jumping jacks or something, or burpees, or I don't know, something to get your blood flowing. And if you don't want to do that, I haven't tried this yet, but this is in the book. You can jump in the shower and water on cold for like a second.
Tony Robbins does that,
Yes.
right? He's got some immersive pool or something that's 50 degrees. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
they really, it does something to your cortisol and all this stuff. So it's supposed to be really good for you. I've not
Yep.
had the nerve to try it yet. Maybe I will.
Nope.
Maybe I will. And then
All right, you let me know how that
I,
goes.
I will. I'll say I'm about to do this. But
Yeah.
anyway, the next thing is in the book. This is recommended. I am not doing this yet, but it's called titanium tea with MCT oil. And you just drink your tea with MCT oil in it, and that's good because it has the medium, what is it? Medium chain triglycerides. I think that's what that stands for, MCT. And it's just good for your body. It's really it's made from coconut oil, so it has the fats in it and amino acids that your body needs to help you like with your day. And then the next thing, this is the most important part that I have really gotten so much out of, is answering the following questions while you drink your tea, or it could be coffee or whatever you want.
Okay.
If it's coffee, make it bulletproof coffee, if you know what that is, with the coconut oil, butter, and anyway, you answer the questions. I am grateful for 1, 2, 3, and you pick 3 things. And when you answer I'm grateful, use the following categories. Otherwise, you'll go on autopilot and you repeat the same thing every day over and over again. You'll say, I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful. You don't want to get into that, because then you get into a rut and you don't really feel as grateful as you can. So
Right.
one category you could write down that you're grateful for is an old relationship that really helped you. So like think back to someone who helped shape your life, maybe a teacher that you had in 5th grade, or I don't know, your youth pastor, or even someone's mom or dad that you were close to when you were a kid, or it could be your own parents or grandparent, whatever. It could be a relationship that you have now with someone too. Another thing to be grateful for is an opportunity that you have today, coming up now, today. Be grateful. Maybe you have like an opportunity to meet with a new potential client. You could write down that you're grateful for that. And something that happened yesterday that you experienced or that you witnessed happen that you're grateful for.
I like that.
Yeah. Like maybe you had an opportunity to go to the last home game with your kid when they're their senior year, which I get to do Saturday with my daughter at UC. Yeah. So maybe that's something you're grateful for. Then 3 things. Oh, hold on. Was there? Oh, something there. The other thing category you can write that you're grateful for is something that's near you or within sight. So maybe you look around your office and you're like, oh man, I'm really grateful that I have this. I know this is random, but I'm grateful that I have this thermos. I take it with me everywhere I go because I can keep cold ice water with me all the time. And some people don't have fresh ice water. They don't even have access to water, good water. So maybe you have to be grateful for even little things like that that we take for granted a lot.
Sure.
Then the next thing that you write is what would make today great. 3 things that would make. So
I like that.
So you've already spent your 10 minutes meditating, you're thinking about your day and all that. Now you're putting on paper 3 things that would make today great. So when you put that down and you think through those things, it really makes you be more intentional with today, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to write what could have made today better. So you don't want to forget what could have made today great, because then you're going to have to write what could have made today better.
I like that.
Yeah, and then the next thing in the morning, the third thing is write 3 things, and mine always ends up being like 10, but daily affirmations. I am blank. And write it as if it already happened, not as if it's going to happen. So like if you're really trying to get in shape, you might want to say like, I am a beast in the gym. I am I am in the best shape of my life right now. When you say those words out loud, your brain hears it. And there's something about when your brain hears it, it sets you in motion, and your brain will figure out how to make that happen. It'll just, it's like, I don't know, it's really weird. You should start, if you're not doing daily affirmations, start saying them. Even if it's something like, I have the best relationship with my daughter. I have, the best relationship with my husband. I have whatever it is. If you're planning for like you could say something like, Christmas is paid for and then some. It is.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Like positive daily affirmations. It's crazy how these things start to happen. I mean, I could give you examples, but I know you don't have a lot of time. I know you've already kind of a few minutes, but anyway, the next thing, that's the end of the daily morning ritual, but the end of the
Okay.
night, at nighttime, before you go to bed, three amazing things that happened today, one, two, three, and then how could I have made today better, one, two, three.
Okay.
So that's my,
Those are
yeah,
great.
that's what I do. And I try to do
Thank
at
you.
least those part, that part of my morning ritual is like something I never want to miss, because if I don't do that part, I feel like I'm off throughout the day.
Yeah.
And it,
That's
being
awesome.
grateful has, I don't know, it totally changes your mindset and your attitude, because in the
Yeah.
presence of gratefulness, anxiety and fear can't exist at the same time. So if you're
Yeah.
struggling with something, or you're feeling like you don't have enough of, or you're feeling in a state of lack, if you focus on what you have, and how, like, all the good things, even if you have a lot of crappy things going on right now, you still have a lot of good,
Yep.
you still have things you can be grateful for. And if you verbalize them, and and bring them to the front of your mind, it removes the fear and the anxiety, and it gets rid of it. So I would say to you right now, if you are,
Well, and I think too, it helps you refocus because, you know, when you're in the midst of stuff, it's not always great and you can't pretend it is, right? But you can always go back to, okay, I have this though, and you can determine that you're going to focus on what you're grateful for. Um, and I'm going to add to your last part, which is I would say to get some endorphins, to go exercise at some point. And everything that we've talked about this morning, it sounds like it's going to take a really long time,
definitely,
but once you get into it, first of all, it doesn't take that long, and second of all, it's your most coveted time of the day. When no matter what happened the day before, the next morning you wake up with a new attitude, with gratitude, with okay, this is a new day, right?
yeah,
And I think that that's huge part of what we're talking about this morning. So I appreciate you. I know you've got to run your daughter to school, and I've got to run too, but I appreciate you. We'll put some links at underneath the video, so people that are watching it later, they can get more information on what you were talking
yeah,
about.
I'll link
And
the blog too, if you want it, for with this whole thing laid out.
yeah, if you could do that, that'd be
Okay,
fantastic. All right, have a great
okay,
day.
you too, bye, Shannon.
All right, bye.